Hi guys, thanks for tuning in again. You're watching In Deep on the Delta. This is the weekly Delta fishing report for the week of July 7th. And when we get into the report, I'm going to break it up into two sections. First section will be what was happening before the 4th of July weekend, and the second section will be what's been happening after the 4th of July weekend. Before that, I want to get into one public service announcement, and this is a big one. You want to get your pencils out. Write this date down, August 20th. The Bass Hole out on Bethel Island is having their first annual celebration. They're going to have a swap meet, sale, barbecue, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's going to be a good time out there. Put this date on your calendar. If you are thinking about bringing a table and doing some swapping out there, give Rob a call. He'll set you up with the information that you'll need to get a table. I think there might be a slight charge on that. I'm not sure, but call Rob and he'll get you set up with the table to do some swapping out there. I'm suspecting that it's going to be a great time. You'll get a chance to meet a lot of Delta rats out there. You'll be able to talk to some people, get some information. If you want to swap some of your stuff that's sitting in the garage, it's a good time to get rid of that stuff. Probably pick up a little stuff too with a good for a good price. I think Rob's going to have a nice raffle out there. If you buy something from the Bass Hole, you get a raffle ticket for a $100 gift certificate to the Bass Hole. I will keep hitting that up for the next couple weeks, but put it on your calendar, August 20th. All right, with that, let's get into the report. River conditions are about the same as they were in the Central Delta, right around 80-degree water temps with about I'll just say 4 to 8 feet of visibility, depending on where you're at. Talk to Alan Fong. He's been fishing out around Liberty, around the Sacramento side, and the water temperatures are creeping up out on the Sacramento. A week or two ago, we're talking low 70s are starting to creep into the mid 70s, and with that water temperature increasing, the striper fishing is declining a little bit. Now, Alan said that there's been stripers being caught, just not at the pace they were a couple of weeks ago. He's had the last week, he's been going out quite a bit, and his fishing has just been so-so. So as the temperatures rise, it's the annual migration. They're going to move out, the stripers are going to move out into the bay, and we're going to have to wait till maybe the end of August, September before they come back in. So still a few of them out there. If you're hardcore and you want to go out there and try to get a striper, there's still a few out there, but probably time to turn your sights on largemouth bass. So with that, we will get into the largemouth bass fishing, and we'll start with what was going on about a week to 10 days ago before the 4th of July weekend. Fishing was pretty good and getting better, and a lot of people were talking about getting bigger fish in the mix. This time of year, everyone complains about, lots of numbers, but lots of small rats, and very difficult to get a big fish. And the bigger fish had started showing up before the 4th of July weekend, and not in big numbers, but the guys that were out, instead of getting a solid fish or two in their sack that was in the 3-pound class, they started picking up some 5 and 6 pound fish. Not numbers of 5 and 6 pound fish in every sack, but the bigger females were responding, and people were talking about getting bigger bites. Even if they were on a frog, they missed a big bite or a wake bait or whatever, but they started responding. So that was what was going on before the 4th of July weekend. 4th of July weekend obviously was a madhouse out here. I don't think there was a lot of people fishing. I did not fish, and I'm glad I didn't, but I was out on the water, and I was on the road watching the water, and I can tell you, man, at Paradise Point, Tower Park, B&W, there was a lot of boats out, and a lot of boats on the river, mostly pleasure craft, skiers, drinkers, cruisers, wakeboarders, whatever you had out here. Wasn't the time to be out here fishing. So we'll talk about what's gone on after the 4th of July weekend, and obviously that was Saturday, Sunday, and Monday was the 4th. Tuesday and Wednesday had a little bit of breeze, up to about 15 miles an hour out here. You can see today we got, if you could see the trees behind me, you can see the winds picking up a little bit. It's nothing that's going to keep you off the water, but just, you know, kind of makes it difficult to position the boat a lot of times. With that being said, not a lot of reports last week due to the 4th of July weekend. They did get quite a few, and everybody's talking about it slowing down a little bit. That could be because the water got beat up this last week. Could just be because we still have some really crappy tides out here. There's just not a lot of tide movement. I'll talk about what's going to be going on with the tides real quick here in the next week or two, but we've got a full moon coming up, which brings bigger tides, higher tidal coefficients. So we're going to have a little flush in the river coming up starting about July 10th. I think the full moon is right around the 12th, 14th, right in there, and I really think that that's going to be the pendulum that really kicks the bigger fish into the summer bite mode. I'm hoping that's going to happen. Until then, I think we can expect decent fishing out here, but you're still going to be wading through a lot of small fish to get a couple or one or two big fish. The nice thing is the one or two big fish that you're going to have in the sack are not those 3.5 pounders. They're going to be 5 and 6 pounders. One thing that I have been doing, and I've been noticing quite a bit, and I've been fishing a lot of the early morning and late evening. You guys know I like to fish the bubble walker. This is, I don't even know what size this is anymore. It's the little 3-inch bubble walker. I've gone to fishing the bigger bubble walker, the 5-inch or 4.5, whatever it is, and also bigger weight baits. And I want to talk about my reasoning for that, and they are responding, the fish are responding to bigger baits. If you're looking to catch big fish in the next couple weeks, I would suggest, if you're throwing topwater baits, throw bigger topwater baits, bigger weight baits, stick with punching and frogging. Now here's the thing about those 4 big fish baits: frogging, punching, wake baits, and big topwaters. All big fish baits, but it's not only big fish that takes those baits. What I want to get at is, just because you're throwing those big baits, doesn't mean you're going to catch big fish. But what it does mean, it's going to increase your chances of catching a big fish. So, you know, for every 10 fish you catch, your odds are going to be more and more in your favor of getting that 5 or 6 pounder. So that would be my suggestion for the next couple weeks if you're looking for bigger fish. Now, as far as just fishing out here, it is across the board what people are catching them on. The one bait that hasn't really got a lot of play, and it's kind of perplexing because it's usually a great bait this time of year, and that's the chatterbait. There's been a few reports of people catching fish on chatterbaits, but there's been a lot more reports of people catching fish on crankbaits than chatterbaits. Also, jerkbaits have come into the mix. I know a lot of the guys that are jerkbait fishing are probably catching a lot of the smaller fish, but if you need to catch the smaller fish, you know, the 1 to 2 pound fish, make sure you have a jerkbait on. 5-inch Cinco has been catching a lot of fish. I've been throwing mostly a 7-inch and a 6-inch. My numbers have gone down on those bigger worms, but I'm getting more of the quality, you know, 2.5 to 3.5 pound fish. I suspect as we get these bigger tides and bigger tidal coefficients here with the next full moon, the bigger fish are really going to come out, and throwing the bigger worms, the bigger bait's going to start really paying off. Be versatile with the baits you're throwing out here. It is all tide related during the day, but there's a good bite window in the morning of about 45 minutes. The evening bite window has been a little shorter. Make sure you get out right at the change of light, and make sure you stay out till dark. I'm going to be doing what I'm going to call a master class on the change of light bite. That's what I enjoy doing most of the time out here in the summer. I don't like fishing in 110 degree weather, so I'm generally going out very early or fishing through the evening. And I will talk about some of the things that I look for, and how I look at what baits I'm using, and how I go about fishing that change of light bite. And if you're not fishing that bite, you really got to get out of here and start fishing that bite in the summer. So with that, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Make sure if you haven't been sending reports, send me a report if you get out. scooper9561032@gmail.com. I want to make sure I thank all you guys that have been sending me reports. I really appreciate that. That's the report for this week. Thanks so much for watching. See you guys on the river. Good luck until then.